I was going to have a video ready for this big block Chevrolet blower motor. It's a motor that I did not build. It was built by someone else, and a friend of mine asked me if I would dyno it, and against probably my better judgment, I said I would. And this is kind of where I'm at with this deal right now. We tried to dyno it Friday and never got a pull done on the motor. We had all kinds of issues. The first issue we had probably a week and a half ago, it had a brand new MSD, walk over here, had a brand new MSD box on it, just like this one right here. Zero fire, nothing wrong with it. Checked the box was bad. Brand new from MSD. So that was the first mistake. It had a manual fuel pump on it, which I was a little concerned about it being enough fuel. As you can see now, it is gone for this motor, and you can see the carburetors are off of it. This DCM blower is where the blower came from and where the carburetors came from. And the carburetors are a real pile. I'll show you a few things I found on these carburetors. Let me get around here. Here's one of the carburetors. It is what they call, I think, a Brawler series carburetor. And, you know, supposedly this guy had gone through them and changed everything to make them work on a blower. And I assumed, and it's my own fault, that there's an issue. Or, you know, there wouldn't be an issue, but there was. If you look real close at these boosters, you can see that they're angled out this direction and they're not centered in the venturi. So that's really going to mess up the signal to them. It's wrong kind of boosters in it. It's just a lot of issues going on with this carburetor. Let me get a bowl off of it and I will show you a few other things. This is just a Chinese knockoff. Something that somebody sent over there and had them build it. I think there's a few places that are selling them, and I probably would not buy them. Let me get the camera set up here, and I'll show you a few other things that I have found with this deal. There we go. I'm gonna shut it off here a second, and I'll get a bowl off and show you. Had to go round my good stool up to set on here. You know, kind of dead in the water. Tried to make a couple pulls. Tried to make a couple modifications to the carburetor, and you know, same results. Never could even get even a semblance of a pull to be able to kind of tell where we were at. The poor customer, I feel bad for him on this deal. He's seen, you know, stuff on the internet, YouTube, wherever about this guy, and apparently he had done some boat blower stuff, and you know, he trusted the guy, and that's something that is just, it's running rampant right now as far as people are taking advantage of people because of the internet, and it's bad. It's really bad. The customer told this guy, it's a blown motor, goes in a jet boat. It's more of a pleasure boat than a race boat. First off, I would have probably had power valves in it. just because he cruises around on the lake, and you can open and close the power valve, boost reference type setup. You can make the thing work where it drives real good driving around the lake, and it doesn't have power valves in it. The jetting was way off on it. I thought that was the issue. I went down on the jets. The other big issue, get these screws out of this deal. As you can see, the float doesn't drop all the way down. It stops right there. It won't go all the way down. I'll pull the float out of it and let you see what's going on with it. I had to go gather me up some tools here. I'll pop the needle and seat out. It's got, let me look and see what it says the seat is, if it's marked. It says it's a 110. I would have probably put a bigger needle and seat in it, personally. Let's pull these screws out. Not sure who sells these carburetors, but I would recommend not buying any because they are terrible. Well, if I can get the float out of it. Okay, got the float out of it. If you look at this deal, look how the float, that's bent. That's the way it came. Well, hopefully y'all can see. Oop. Hopefully you can see that arm. Look how that arm's bent. That's the way this carburetor came, was that way. I think probably when somebody shoved this float in, because it fits so tight in the pins. And if you look at this bowl real close, hopefully you can see right here, there's rub marks on both sides. That is from the float rubbing on the edge right here. Who sends out a carburetor that's like that? There's no reason that should be straight. But that wasn't the problem with this deal. There's just everything about it is terrible. So that's kind of what, I'll pull the bowl off the other side, and we'll see what it looks like. Just to have a comparison. Nothing that the customer done or anything like that could have caused that float to be bent like that. Whoever went to put it in, pushed it in and bent it. And, the customer is the one that's going to suffer on this deal. And, if he wasn't such a understanding person, and I have shown him a lot of these issues and explained everything to him, he would probably think I was trying to get to him or something. But he has seen, and just like this power valve here, they plugged it with, I don't know what kind of plug, but if I can get it loose, I can't even get it loose. That's just jacked up. This float, they don't, all of them I've ever seen in any good carburetor, the float will go all the way down and touch the bottom of the bowl. And on these, it just doesn't do it. It is jacked up. These screws out of the way. See if I can get this float out. I can't even, with the screws out, you can't get the float out. Oh, I gotta get the, if I take the needle and seat out, that'd probably help, hopefully. Well, thought it would. There we go. I got it out. Now look at the arm on this one. It's perfectly straight. Y'all can see that. It's perfectly straight. Look at the arm on that one. It's bent like crazy. It's just, and even the one that has the straight arm on it, if you look at this bowl, hopefully y'all can see that black line right there and the black line right there. The float is rubbing up against the bowl, so it's never going to work right. There is no way that it is going to work properly when it does that. It's just the typical thing that engine builders have to deal with. It's not good. We end up on the short end of the stick most of the time, kind of like this deal here. Trying to help the guy out. I feel bad for him. And it's not a good thing to tell the customer that he has purchased, let me get my camera flipped around here a little bit. There we go. You know, he'd purchased a bunch of junk. And I, you know, hate to be that way with the customer, but when it comes down to it, that's what it is. And that's kind of where I'm at with the blower deal. We're sourcing out some new carburetors. I'm waiting on a callback from Brownsville Carburation about buying 2 carburetors for this. If it's not plumb off the chart, I think the customer would probably go for it. It's not that I'm trying to sell him carburetors. I would have liked to finished it Friday and made him happy, and he could have put it in his boat, and you know, maybe got to use his boat this summer. But it's, you know, it's looking like it's not going to happen. He's already missed a couple of events that he wanted to go to and do kind of like a car cruise, a boat cruise, boat show type thing. It's a nice looking boat, and you know, it's just been one issue after another with this motor. But it does start and run. So that was a good thing. We finally got that part handled. But the carburetors are just completely jacked up. He's talked to the guy that done the carburetors. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I'm not going to get in the middle of any of that part of it. That's up to him. And I hate to bash the guy that done the carburetors, or supposedly done the carburetors, but at some point these people need to be held accountable for what they're doing to people. It's not right. Kind of a rant video a little bit about how things go and how the engine builders end up getting caught in the middle of a lot of this stuff. It's, you know, it's very frustrating. I try to take care of all my customers and make sure that they're happy with, you know, the product that I send out with them. And, you know, this poor guy has just, it's not been good. I don't want to go into a lot more, but I just kind of wanted to show people these Brawler carburetors. I don't know who sells them, who they actually are, but personally, I wouldn't give 10 cents for both these carburetors, and they're both just like this. So, you know, you can take it for what it's worth, but if you own one of them, I'd throw it in the trash. Sorry I kind of went off there, but sometimes you have to get it off your chest, and that's probably going to be what this video is. I was hoping to show, you know, some dyno numbers and some dyno pulls, but we couldn't even make a pull to show you. So I appreciate everybody. Hope you understand. Sometimes you got to rant, and kind of what this deal is. Hopefully we'll come up with some, you know, better information next time I show something about this blower motor. I appreciate everybody watching and commenting. Have a good day.